My name is Ro, right here in Studio B, along with the NBA champion, All-Star Steve Smith, and the next head coach of your favorite basketball team, Earl Watson. It is Playoff Central Live, presented by AT&T 5G, and we just witnessed the Philadelphia Sixers even the series one game apiece, and a lot of it because of Shaq Milton in that third quarter. Joel Embiid with a playoff career-high 40 points, the first Sixer with 40 and 10 in a playoff game since the Hall of Famer Billy Cunningham did it in 1970. That run in the third quarter was huge. They went on that run, and we saw Shaq Milton hit that three at the buzzer. Hey, Smitty, coming in you first. Obviously, we know that the haymakers were thrown early. The Sixers got out the gate. The Hawks got back into it, and the Sixers responded in a major way in the third quarter.
They did, Ro. I mean, Earl, it was 32-0, I think, bench points going into halftime. And then Shaq Milton, one shot can get you going. And I know he has been struggling, but he has scores mentality. Not afraid, came out knocking down shots. But this was established by Joel Embiid. Obviously, they need that bench, but that one shot right there got him going. Dwight Howard, give him a lot of credit, playing well, good minutes behind. They just came out and they executed. I think for them is defensively, they made Trae Young work. Even though he got his points, I think it was hard, it was tough. Another ball handler for the Hawks would be helpful, somebody else that can make another play, but there's just no answer for Joel Embiid when he wants to play like this.
No answer, and you spoke about that earlier in the pregame, making Trae have to work a little bit harder for him. Not necessarily in the fourth quarter, but you want to hit him a little bit earlier so it affects him later on in the game.
I think they did a great job of putting different guys on him and wearing him down and using their size and their wingspan. But credit to Shaq Milton. I've been in that situation where you're a young guy trying to get into rotation, and you have to mentally stay prepared. That means you have to be positive about no matter what your minutes are, you're positive, you're working hard, you're getting extra shots, you stand after calling coaches late at night, and you get that opportunity, you seize the moment. And my question is this, Smitty, to you. If I'm Doc Rivers, I'm asking, is that sustainable? I'm not sure if it's sustainable over 7 games. So if you're Atlanta Hawks, you're in the locker room, you're saying, hey, they had a guy come out, he played at a very high level. We have more guys off our bench that can do that every game this series. Let's go back home and get ready for another opportunity to get a W.
Yeah, if you're Atlanta, I'm with Earl. I mean, your goal is to get one. You get greedy and you try to get 2. But Shaq doesn't have this type of quarter or this run. It's a closer game. You never know what happens. So if you're Nate McMillan, you're extremely happy. We had no rhythm in this game, but we fought back. They played like a veteran team. We lost this game, but we were never rattled. We stayed into it. We took Shaq Milton's run. We took a 40-piece from Joel Embiid, and yes, it was lopsided, but I never thought they just didn't have what it took to win this game. They just ran into some guys that had hot nights, and that was a desperate game for Philadelphia 76ers. Do you know I would love to read the papers next day if Philly lost that one? It's been Doc's fault, Ben Simmons' fault, Joel Embiid's fault. It's been everybody's fault.
The blame pie would have been handed out. And just for the record, the Hawks did have a 1-point lead in the third quarter. And that's at that point, that's when the run started happening. Shaq started hitting buckets, 14 points for him, 5 threes in this one. He was impressive, but you spoke about Joel Embiid. We saw that he was still a game-time decision. We still don't know how that knee's feeling. But, I mean, hey, just looking at him, it doesn't seem like anything is wrong with the knee dropping 40 in this one.
Well, we know, obviously, I think he has a slight tear in meniscus. But he looked good. This is how good he is. I mean, being able to, at all 3 levels, just dominate. I mean, he's giving you dream Shaq. He's giving you Shaq power-like. And then, obviously, he has a little Derek Coleman in his game. But what I love about him, he's been working on his game. You can feel he has moves that look as smooth as guards. And this is what I love about him, these extra effort plays. We didn't see this a lot, young in his career. We've always knew the talent. This right here, that knee looks good to me to be able to do that. That is something, my knee hurt watching that one, but I give Joel Embiid a lot of credit. Earl, this right here is unfair when a guy can do this. Even at a closeout, he's comfortable with a closeout and shooting over the top. It's just not like a wide open 3 for a 5. These are contested shots, and his pump fake is one of the best. I mean, he shows it, and guys go for it.
He plays at his rhythm, and he plays at peace, and he's so skilled. It's almost you don't want to tell him not to shoot the threes or play on the perimeter, but I would give him 90-10. I would say 90% of the time you got to get a piece of the paint. 10% of the time you can do what you want with your rhythm moves on the perimeter, even shoot threes. And if he gets to that paint 95% of the time, most likely that allowed the guards like Tobias Harris to get to the free throw line quicker and easier, and they control the pace of this game because you're playing a skilled, energetic Hawks team. And it's hard to be skilled with energy, but they're so youthful. They have so much energy. You have to have spurts of energy off that bench or throughout the game for Philadelphia 76ers in order to compete. And Joel Embiid, when he gets into that paint, the crowd goes crazy. His teammates get energized and they start to control the game.
Yeah, you talk about those points in the paint. Philadelphia won that battle 52-44 as far as points in the paint. And Smitty, you touched on it earlier, talking about the bench points for the Atlanta Hawks. Now, they do lose this game. However, when you have a young team that's still figuring out how to win in the playoffs, when you have multiple players go over 20, you have Huter, who has a playoff career high 20. You have Bogdanovich come in and get some big buckets. He had 10 in the third quarter. Going back home to Atlanta, how are you feeling right now if you're the Hawks?
No, you feel great. I mean, you got a chance to get one. And we talk about bench points. Look at the veteran. Yes, they're a young team, but Gallinari's coming off the bench. Lou Will's coming off the bench. Kevin Huerter's had a phenomenal season. Kevin Huerter had to play a lot of major minutes. There's no DeAndre Hunter, and don't forget Cam Reddish hasn't played pretty much at all in the second half of the season for the Atlanta Hawks. And Kevin Huerter has played stable, sound, and then next thing you know, you have Bogdanovich. It looks like he's made for playoffs. He just needed to get in the playoffs. He wasn't getting a chance to see too many minutes in Sacramento in postseason basketball. They have some confident young guys, John Collins, Capella. They got to figure out a way and also figure out, I think, Earl, are we just going to completely double him? Or we can't, because we can't play one-on-one. And I think that's going to be something that Nate's going to have to really figure out. We're going to put some pressure. To me, I'm doubling him in rotation. I'm closing out really, really slow to Ben Simmons, making him that last guy to get to rotation, forcing the ball to him and after the double team.
For all our League Pass fans, if you were watching Sacramento in the past couple of seasons, Bogdanovich did hit some big buckets in late game situations, so he's ready for that big stage, and we saw him respond today. But, Earl, you touched on it a second ago. You talked about Philadelphia and having this energy, and will it be sustainable going into two road games in Atlanta? Now, Philly's been in these situations before. It's mostly a veteran team. You have a veteran coach and Doc. When they're going into Atlanta, what do you think their mindset's going to be, and how do they approach those games?
First 5 minutes, sustain and control the crowd, because the crowd is going to be into it. You would imagine Trae Young in the first 5 minutes is going to go off. So you have to stay close. Call your timeout, shut the runs, get to the free throw line, throw it into the post, get a piece of the paint, and chop the game down in order to control the pace of the game. And then who is coming off the bench? You're congratulating Shaq Milton, but you're telling everyone to be ready, using an example of how to be ready mentally in a positive state and coming out physically executing the game plan and providing for your team. And then you talk about how can we get Ben Simmons to be more effective throughout the game? Where can we put him to make him more effective offensively to get him going as well? So you have opportunities, but you're coming facing against a lot. He was like, don't fall in love with results. Play the right way, play our way. If we win, great. If we lose, we're going to win more than we lose. And I thought the Hawks played their way. Trae didn't have a game where he went off, but we know that is going to be more opportunities for him to go off than less, and he's going to come in that next game and have a lot of fire to his action.
Trae Young, 21 points, 1 for 7 from 3, 6 for 16 from the field. Don't fall in love from the results. I just wrote that one down courtesy of the legendary John Wooden, once his head coach way back when. In the meantime, another head coach who once spent some time in L.A. I just aged you. I didn't mean to do that. But you get what I was trying to say.
Yeah,
Let's go to Doc Rivers.
I was looking at Earl and said, boy.
Mentor.
Benjamin Button.
Something seconds in last game. Why did you feel the need, why did you bring him in and then talk about his performance?
Yeah, because I thought the second unit was struggling. We had 0 points at halftime, Keith, from our second unit. I talked to Shake today. I said, this is a long run, man, if we do this right. And everyone's going to get a shot and stay ready. I give Shake, and the same thing happened to Ferk early in when we took him out of the rotation. Shake came back last night, played one-on-one at 10 o'clock at night. He shot extra. I mean, he prepared himself, and he believed that he would get another shot, and he got it. And he gave us a huge lift. So I'm very happy for him, just personally.
Thank you, Doc.
Let's go to John Clark.
Doc, the Hawks had that lead, 80-79, with 2:41 left in the third. You have Shake come in. He hits the three, but it was, the bench scoring 26 of the next 30 points for you guys. How incredible was the energy that Shake brought everybody with him?
Yes, I thought Shake and George Hill and then Matisse's defense and George's defense saved us. Dwight was big on the glass, but we challenged them at halftime, John. We really did. You know, when you looked at the stats, I think it was 41 or 43 to 0 in bench points at halftime. We had 0 points at halftime, and we challenged the defense. We said, guys, if you guys get stops with the spacing we have, we'll score. But you can't play half court all the time because the other team is scoring. And I thought our guys did a phenomenal job defensively first, and then we picked the right guys, obviously. You know, bringing Shaq in was huge for us.
And Joel, when he left the game there, I believe he had a 4-point lead. So to see it stretched to 18 or 20, how big is that for what he's given you, the amount of minutes he's played?
That was huge. And we felt like, listen, they cut it to 1. You would think worst time to take Joel out. But for us, you know, it's still a minutes, and we felt like we were going to need him down the stretch. The fact that the second unit, we can wait till, 7 minutes to put Joel back in, and he comes back in with an 18-point lead. That was absolutely wonderful.
Thank you.
Dave McMenamin.
Doc, you've coached some greats who have had some great performances in Boston and LA, for sure. Joel playing on bum knee, down 0-1 in the series, starts the game 15 minutes after finding out he didn't win MVP, puts up 4 things up. Could you just speak to the magnitude of his night?
Yeah, it was awesome. You know, I think Joel, you know, I don't know if the MVP thing did anything to him or not. I remember being on the other side of the night that David Robinson got the MVP and we had to play Elijah on. I was on that Spur team. That didn't go well for us. Tonight, you felt like that was Joel. You know, he was that magnificent, dominant for us early on. But it was absolutely a team effort. I just thought he set the tone for us, and that's what he has to do, obviously.
Jamie Apodi.
Doc, just overall, how big is it to win, given, you know, the way things went in game 1, and the fact that you kind of needed one on your home court, and you definitely brought the atmosphere back here?
Yeah, we just needed to win the game, Jamie. Like, it was big because we lost game 1. But if we had won game 1, it would have been big because we won game 2. You know what I'm saying? You don't ever want to go down 2-0 in a series. And now we're not. It's 1-1. We have to go to Atlanta and get home court back, you know, and so we have a lot of big games ahead of us.
Pat Carlin.
Sorry about that. Hey, Coach. In the fourth quarter, you took Ben out after he made the 2 free throws and you put Shaq back in. Was that just because you guys had the lead and Shaq was just playing so well? And then after the hacking and the 2 minutes is up, you were able to kind of...
Well, we took him and Matisse out because we had an extra timeout. You know, it's funny. That's why you try to save timeouts. You know, I was tempted to use the extra one in the first half, and I didn't. And it really came back and rewarded us because when they started fouling, I called it at 3. I knew it was just 1 minute because they were going to foul Ben or Matisse. And with an extra timeout in your pocket, why let them? That was the thinking.
And then what did you think of your defense performance on Trey tonight? I thought Ben did an okay job against him. You know, he shot 1 for 7 from deep on the night. But what did you just kind of assess the defense on Trey?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought the switching early on was good. You know, we took him out of their 77 and double drag play for the most part. You know, he'll be more aggressive next game. There's no doubt about it. I thought you could see his adjustment was to try to attack early in transition. So we're going to have to adjust to that next game.
Thanks, Coach.
Kevin Kincaid.
Hey, Doc, just to piggyback off what Kai is saying there, did you feel like the game was officiated in a way that made that switch from Danny to Ben feasible?
I'm not going to comment on that.
Do you think that Ben was able to defend the way that he wanted to?
Yeah, I thought Ben played terrific defense, and he did it without fouling.
Paul Hudrick.
Hey, Doc, one of the adjustments it seems like you made early is you had Tobias kind of switch on to Trey when he did, you know, the pick and roll. What did you see? It seemed like Tobias really kind of gave you a boost in that regard. And in the first half, his two-way game in general, it seemed like he gave you guys a big boost early.
Yeah, Paul, we just said, you know, what Trey wants is to go downhill, and we felt like to switch him would at least flatten him out. Even if he beat our guys, it would give us time to adjust and be in our help positions. You know, in game 1, he was just going downhill so quickly that we decided to switch on the double drag, the first guy, not the second guy. And I thought that had some impact for us.
Chris Franklin.
Hey, Doc, piggybacking off that question, well, I think Tobias scored something like 10 of your first 14 points in the game.
Yeah.
Are you going to make a concerted effort to try to get him the ball? And what did you think about his offensive game?
Yeah, he was great. But, no is the answer. It just, we talked about it after game one. My frustration level was quite high because we didn't do what we've done all year, and that's what we call feed the pig. And that means the player or the play. We would run a play and score and then go run something else, which for the life of me, I couldn't figure out. And I thought in the first quarter, they saw Tobias had it going. They saw the set they were running. You saw Joel calling Tobias' set. I thought that was terrific. I mean, keep running the play until it stopped. And I thought our guys did a great job of that tonight.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Doc Rivers talking about feeding the pig. Now we'll go to the opposite head coach, Nate McMillan, for the Hawks.
Hey, Nate. Just kind of from the end of the third quarter, I know Milton hits that big three, and then going into the fourth quarter, just what were the biggest things that tripped you guys up kind of in the fourth?
Whenever we got close, we turned the ball over, or we either gave up, a basket. We didn't really do a good job of controlling or establishing our defense all night long. It really started in the first quarter, 24 points in the paint in the first quarter. We had a ton of turnovers. We, finished the game with 19 turnovers, 18 turnovers. And, those are two things that we talked about we couldn't do, is turn the ball over, allow them to get out into transition. And that's pretty much what they did.
Chris Kirshner.
Hey, Nate, what have you thought of the job Clint has done guarding Embiid so far through 2 games?
Well, he's a problem down in the post. We're trying to mix up our defense with him. I think at times he's getting too deep. Our double teams are not getting there quick enough, and he's pretty much taking advantage of the deep coverage. The deep post up, getting to the free throw line or scoring. So we got to clean that up, get better. He pretty much has had his way in the first 2 games down on the block.
When the Sixers wings have games like they did tonight, is this one of those matchups where you guys miss someone like DeAndre and Cam to be those perimeter defenders that can be out there?
Oh, we absolutely missed him. But we were able to play and do some good things in game 1 without him. So again, it's just a part of the game, these injuries. We certainly are a better ball club when he's out on the floor with us, because he just does so many things. He's not only can he defend multiple positions, but he can also he's an option on the offensive end of the floor.
Zach Klein.
Coach, were there any major differences between the way Philly approached game 1 and game 2, or was it just a combination of the shooting flipped from the series opener tonight, where they were hot and you guys were cool, as the difference in 180 in game 1?
I think that was part of it, Zach. I thought we settled early. I thought we took some quick shots in that first quarter. And those are the things that we didn't want to do. Whenever you're playing against a really good defensive team like Philadelphia, New York, you can't. They defend your first and your second option. And what I mean by that, if you're coming down and you're not passing the ball and you're just jacking shots, or you're coming down, you're making one pass and a shot, they're going to defend that. We got to get to our third and our fourth options, make them defend, get them moving from side to side. I thought we settled and took some quick contested shots early. A lot of those shots, along with the turnovers, they turned into transition points, and was able to get out and get some easy baskets and attack our paint in that first quarter, really the first half.
Jeff Stoll.
Nate, this is the same situation you guys faced in the New York series. You came home 1-1 after losing in Game 2. People were wondering how you guys were going to adjust. With what you were able to do in that series, how much confidence does it give you guys, give the team coming back home 1-1?
I just said that to the team. Whenever you can split in the playoffs and certainly split on the road, that's a good thing. We would have liked to have gotten both games, but we was able to get one. It's very similar to the series against New York. Now we go home, and we have to go home and defend home court. So, I like where we are. We know we got to play much better, and I feel we will play better at home.
Steve Hummer.
Nate, given the need to try to make Embiid's life a little harder getting down low, how do you do that with a man that size and who has such a variety of physical skills?
There's some things that we talked about we needed to do. I didn't think that we did that tonight. We'll show film again. There's some things that we can do better because tonight he basically just went down to his spot and got deep post position, and we got to do a better job of fighting early to deny his catch, as well as allowing him to get deep post position. So we'll make some adjustments to how we're defending him, some of the things that we are doing to try to guard him. But I thought tonight we was resisting and pretty much allowing him to basically just walk down to the post and set up.
That was Nate McMillan. Now we go to Trae Young.
We will go ahead and begin with a question from Zach Klein.
I guess the message afterwards, Trae, was you got one checkbox done, you split, go back home, and something tells me Friday night's going to be rocking at State Farm.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope the fans are ready to rock the house on Friday.
Christos.
Hey, Trae, what are the takeaways of those two games for your team from your perspective? And what do you need to improve on Game 3 after that loss tonight?
I think it was good the way we came out here and got a game. Obviously, they're a really good team on their floor. So getting one game out here was something we wanted to at least do. Came up short in this game, but I'm proud of the way we fought. Obviously, they came out there hitting some shots, and they came out ready to play. So for us, we gotta make the adjustments and proper adjustments going into Game 3, and we'll be all right.
Chris Kirschner.
Hey Trae, what do you feel like? Let me rephrase that. What did you think of the way you guys defended as a team up there tonight?
I don't think we did a good job. As a group, I think we could have done a little bit better. Obviously, they scored a lot early on and quick. But for us, we know what we did wrong, and we gotta make the right adjustments going into Game 3, and that part of that end is especially containing Joe a little bit better. It's something that we gotta focus on a little more.
Sarah.
Hey Trae, Kevin obviously gave you guys a big kind of spark off the bench tonight. Just all postseason long, but obviously tonight as well. Just what have you seen out of Kevin?
He's been doing really good, knocking down shots, being ready, being aggressive, and it's good to see him doing that. We're going to need him to continue to be aggressive for us and be ready to knock down some shots for us. So he's been playing great. We're going to need him to continue to do that if we're going to finish out this series strong.
Jeff Schultz.
Trae, this is the same situation you guys faced, obviously, after the first two games in the New York series. How much can you draw from that, coming back home 1-1?
Yeah, obviously we all know it's the same kind of setup that we had last series. But at the same time, it's still last series. We got to focus on this one. They're a really good team. We got to focus on the adjustments going into Game 3, and but understand we're going back home, and we got our fans we're going to be able to play in front of, and we got to use that momentum and our home court advantage to our advantage. So it's a good thing we're going back home.
And can I ask you, were they doing anything against you outside of the arc tonight defensively that bothered you, or was it just one of those nights?
Nah, I mean, they were doing this, pretty much the same thing. They switched. Obviously, Ben was guarding me a little bit more tonight, but I had a lot of shots that I was open and they didn't fall, and wish they would have fallen for my team, but we got to get better for next game.
Chris.
DeAndre's been ruled out at the last minute, both games. I'm curious, what have your conversations been like with him to kind of keep his spirits up, and what have you seen out of him just being on the bench with the guys?
Yeah, obviously he's trying his best to get back on the floor and all that, and I don't know. It's injuries is an individual thing, and it's never a team thing when it comes to injuries to an individual. I think when you get injuries, you got to take care of your body and understand your body more than anybody else. So I think Dre's kind of doing that for himself, and I don't blame him. His knee's pretty swollen, so I know him. He wants to be out on that court playing with us, but I know he's definitely cautious about his body too.
I'm sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
When they have 2-3 guys on the wing who can score with the way Philly does, how much do you miss someone like DeAndre, who was arguably the best perimeter defender for you guys?
Yeah. No, you miss him a lot. You definitely miss his presence, especially on that defensive end. He's a great on-ball defender, even a help side defender. He's really good at reading defenses and things like that. So and at the same time, he can go on the other end and score too. So we're definitely missing a big piece of our offense and our defense with Dre being out. But nobody feels sorry for us, so we still gotta find a way to win.
Just a couple more to Zach.
I think my math is right, Trey, but I think I had you with just one made free throw and just a few attempts in that first quarter. Were you just trying to get more guys involved, or was it just trying to find a rhythm tonight for you offensively?
I think for me it was they were showing a lot of attention early on, especially getting screens. They were kind of doubling and making me get off the ball. So it's really just within the flow of the game. The defense is going to tell me what I'm going to do. So I just go out there and make the right play or try to every possession and live with the results. So whether they're forcing me to score a lot more that night or whether they're forcing me to pass the ball, it's my job to make the right play to the right player. So that's how it kind of went tonight. They were just showing me a lot more bodies.
Final question from Maria.
Hi, Trey. Hope you're well. What do you think are the strengths that you and your team have to step up and get ready for the next games back home?
I think we got a lot of weapons and a lot of guys very focused and very, mentally ready for any challenge. And this is obviously a big challenge for us, going up against the 1 seed in the East. So we're going back home now, being able to play in front of our fans. We're going to try to use that energy that they bring and give us and momentum for us. See y'all Friday.
That was Trey Young. Hey, Smitty, who is this right here?
Joel Embiid, the bully.
The bully. Trust the process. Had a four.
Like he was going to do this before the game. I told him that he's to get ready. But I love all these guys, and he's one of them, and I believe in all of them because I want to win it all, and I'm going to need them to do so. So I'm extremely happy for him, but he's only series only 1-1. There's nothing to really be happy about. You just gotta try to go over there and win both and take one at a time.
Thank you.
Chris Franklin.
Hey, Joel, the news came out tonight that you were finished second in the MVP voting. What was your thoughts on that? And do you still believe that you should have been voted the MVP?
I mean, I can't. There's only some things I can control. Obviously, as a team, we had a good year, and I was a part of it. And it's disappointing because as a player, you work hard for moments like this. But then again, it's out of my control. There's nothing I can do about it. I just gotta come out every year and just be ready and do my job. But I'm focused on the playoffs. I'm focused on winning the championship. Like I've been saying all season, we got a good chance. So I'm not worried about those awards and stuff. If and when I'm holding that trophy, anything else won't matter.
Paul Hedrick.
Hey, Joel, Tobias just gave you credit for, really breaking up their pick and roll defense at times and making some adjustments against Trey. What did you kind of see out there, and how did you guys think overall you adjusted from game one?
I'm trying to do the best I can, limit the movement and all, try to be better presence around the rim. Obviously, not being 100% doesn't help. But tonight, I just wanted to be, big, especially playing against the pick-and-roll defense. And, it's tough because if I come up, they throw the lob. And if I stay back, it goes to that floater. But tonight, I felt like we did a better job as a team as far as, pursuing, whoever was coming off the pick. And then I was also playing the game. You can call that, I don't know, cat and mouse, just faking and going back. Just trying to keep them guessing. Sometimes you're going to get it. Sometimes you're not going to get it. So just trying to make it as tough as possible by using my length.
Thanks, Joe.
Dave McManaman.
Joel, the Philly crowd seemed to be aware of the MVP news. It came out officially about 10 minutes or so before tip-off, and after starting lineups were finished, before you guys even started the game, they were chanting MVP. They did it 3 or 4 times throughout the night. What did that mean to you? And then Tobias said he's our MVP, and, hey, he can still get that finals MVP down the line. Is that something that would motivate you?
I love the fans, they've always supported me. My teammates all year, they've been telling me, all I really care about, like I said, stuff out of my control. But if people around me, my teammates, that believe that, I should be or that I am, I guess you can say that's good enough. I care more about, who I'm around, and, you guys make those decisions and I can't control it. But like I said, that's not what I'm focused on. I haven't really thought about it, for the second half of the season. I just wanted to get ready for this moment, which is the playoffs, to go on this one to try to win a championship.
Last question, Christos Saltas.
Hey, Joel. Speaking about the confidence of the team, how could you describe the level of confidence of your team? And also, how different is the dynamic of your team playing in full arena, just like today?
So, obviously playing at home is huge because we don't seem to lose here. It's rare. The fans, the supporters, they're going to boo you, but it's to make you play better. So I like that energy. But also playing on the road is the same for me, honestly, because as I play on the road, you got the opposite fans, talking trash, booing, you're not fed off of it. and I like to shut them up. So, for me, there's no difference. Obviously, I have a lot of love for the Philly fans, and playing at home is, there's nothing like it. The way they get out, the love that they show, and one thing that people have no idea, and that I'm proud of, is the knowledge of the game. They know everything that's going on. Whether it's, who's on the team, who the team just signed, and all that stuff. They just have, great awareness. That just shows you. That's what I want. I want to play in a city where, fans are into it. They care about you. They care. They want to win. And that's Philly for you.
Joel Embiid, who finished second in the Kia MVP race. The winner is the Joker. The first center to win the award since Shaq did it 21 years ago. The first MVP to play in all of his team's games since Kobe did in 2008. And the lowest drafted player ever, second rounder, 41st overall pick, to win the award. Extremely impressive.